The most important part of my MPH experience here at Tulane was, I think, the broad exposure to all of the introductory classes. It really provides you an opportunity and an education that your peers in general medical education don't actually receive.
My MPH classes really kind of did help me unexpectedly in my medical school classes, especially epidemiology. As medical students, we definitely have to learn a lot of, or we have to read a lot of studies, and those studies are based off of epidemiology and a lot of statistics. So, studying for step 1 and step 2, these skills are very crucial, and that really helped me to take those tests well as taking the tests and really understanding some of the medical studies that came out.
The skills that I work on learning in my public health classes don't always directly relate to what I'm doing in my medical school classes, but when I'm pursuing something of interest in reading journal articles or thinking about research studies that I'd like to do maybe further along in my career, the skills I learned in my public health classes are really applicable, especially what I learned in the epidemiology department, the concentration of my public health degree. I've learned a lot about cohort studies, case studies, clinical trials. It really gives me an advantage when I'm interpreting the results of those types of studies, thinking about how it might apply to my clinical practice in the future, or studies that I might like to conduct on my own.
I think the MD-MPH was a priceless part of my Tulane education. It, for me personally, helped develop and mold my future aspirations and research career, and really focus me as to pursue a career in epidemiology. Also, it brings with you a perspective to your medical and clinical practice that your peers won't have. To be able to get all this within your 4-year time in medical school, I think is an unbelievable opportunity.
I'm about to go on some residency interviews later on in the year, and I will have a lot to talk about because I have done the MD-MPH program. And since it's something that, not a lot of other people do, it puts me in a separate category from the rest of my peers who are going into the same residency program.
When you participate in the MPH program, it gives you a different perspective on the types of career options that you have. You start to think much more about the impact of your clinical practice on a larger population scale.
I think understanding the communities in which your patients come from really provides you a broader view of how to treat your patients and understand really the etiology of their disease.
You're really gaining a valuable set of skills, you're gaining a valuable credential, and it's something that I think is worth it in the long term.
I think the dual degree really was worth it.
Doing both the MD and MPH programs at the same time involves balancing and juggling your commitments, but the program's set up well to allow you to do both. On Wednesday and Friday afternoons, there's time specifically reserved for you to devote to your public health classes.
You definitely have time to do both degrees well. I think Tulane is really good about giving us time and letting us manage our own time when it comes to studying the MPH classes as well as obviously the MD classes. You have to really be conscious yourself about managing your time and scheduling things. So actually it's a good life skill that you'll learn as well. So I had plenty of time to do both. Especially in the summertime when I did most of my classes.
Additionally, taking the summers between first year and second year, as well as even before first year, is a great time to complete those as well.
you definitely will have a good social life. It's what you make of it. Tulane is in New Orleans, and as a lot of people know, New Orleans is known to be a city that likes to have fun, and there are more festivals in the year than days, so there's always something fun going on.
Of course you'll have time to have a social life. New Orleans is a great city to get out and explore, and the public health program starts the summer before, so that gives you your public health classmates are a great group of friends to start to get to know and to have as you begin medical school.
There's time to have a social life. Actually, participating in the MPH program, I think, is likely to introduce you to people who have common interests and common ambitions, especially if you start the program the summer before your first year in medical school. There's really a lot of opportunity to meet new people that you'd like to spend time with throughout the program.
I think it's a really good thing to be able to balance classes, and medical school is not the easiest thing in the world, so it's nice to go out and have a little bit of fun, and I think Tulane is really good about letting students balance work with play, and so definitely, if you want to, you can definitely have a good social life. Hi, my name is Carol Shea. I'm a fourth-year medical student, and I'm in the MD MPH program here, and I'm concentrating in health systems management. I was a public policy major with a focus in international relations, and I really loved that, and I had a great time there. So I wanted to continue that when I finally knew I wanted to go to medical school. So luckily for me, Tulane had this MD MPH program that was fabulous, and you could finish it in 4 years, and it really kind of continued my love for policy and for analyzing things outside of just strictly medicine and pharmaceuticals and everything like that. So it was really wonderful, and I think that it was a really integral part of my medical school career.
I'm Brian Burkett. I'm in the Tulane MD MPH program in the epidemiology department, the class of 2016. One specific advantage of the MD MPH program at Tulane is that you can complete the program in 4 years. Most other MD MPH programs that I've seen at other institutions require you to take an extra year. This is something that makes it an incredibly worthwhile program to participate in, because that extra year is something that you might be able to use later in your education to do a clinical fellowship, or it's an extra year of professional practice. I think this is really, this was an important factor in my decision to participate in the program.
Hi, I'm Michael Halstead. I'm class of 2014, and I'm in the Department of Epidemiology, and I'll be pursuing neurology as my medical specialty. What I was told was that education is cheap now. So basically, not as far as the financial cost, but in your time and career. It's very easy to get your degrees early on and the experience early on, and then be able to grow that into a career later. So I think this MD MPH is a great stepping stone for those who are interested in developing epidemiology skills or public health skills in general through several of the other tracks to get that exposure during medical school, during a time where education for you, as far as the time commitment, is cheap.
So one piece of advice I would give to any prospective student that's interested in the MD MPH program is, what do you want out of your medical career? We're starting as medical students, and in the classroom we learn a bunch of theoretical things about medicine, how to treat patients, but there's also obviously another aspect outside of just treating patients. There are hospitals and there are policies that are really, really important to how we're going to be interacting with patients and insurance companies in the future. So I think that's really important, and I think crucial to any medical student career.
When you're beginning medical school, I think that it's easy to be nervous and to want to limit the things that you commit yourself to, but you'll find that your abilities really develop as you progress through medical school, and you'll probably be able to accomplish more than you initially think you can. If you find yourself overcommitted, there are ways to start reducing your obligations and to manage that. But I would encourage students as they begin to have a lot of confidence about the types of things they'd like to pursue, to really try to use the time in the beginning of medical school to create as many options and open as many doors as possible.
I think the one piece of advice that I would give to somebody considering this program is to start early and take your core classes early on. I think getting that broad public health knowledge early in your public health career and medical career provides you a very unique perspective that you can bring to you on the wards as well as throughout your career as a medical student and beyond, that is something above and beyond that your peers receive.